So good morning, it is Phylthebuilder here, and today I'm going to be making a wild, modern, and tropical build with a beautiful overgrowth of plants. It's super awesome, I love it so much, so let's get started. First I'm just throwing down some paint and trying to figure out how I'm going to put this on the lot. The lot is the Lighthouse lot in Windenburg in the island area. It's a 30 by 40 lot, and yeah, the neighborhood is kind of featuring a lot of crates. What are those called? Shipping crate type mansions. So I thought this worked pretty well for the shape of it and for the style of the neighborhood that I'm gonna go for here. I only have one other really huge house on this island, and it's the same style, but I plan to keep going, making more of them in the same type of way. Lot features fishing, frogs, and dig sites, of course. You know that. If you play The Sims, if you're watching a Sims video, there's tons of resources around this area, which is awesome, because I know I usually farm them daily, and it ends up costing about 115,000, so it's pretty luxurious. But if you're into having a fancy kind of island escape experience, then it's probably worth it. I end up putting the lot traits of good soil, good light, and chef's kitchen, because it has a really big kitchen and so many plants and a lot of windows, so it felt like all three made sense. You get those happy little buffs from living there. And yeah, I ended up putting a really handsome Japanese sim in there the character's just named Asia in the gallery, but it's by Reida Otaku, and it's the perfect little guy to go in there. You'll see I think some footage of him maybe, but anyway, yeah, I'm just throwing the roof on this. I'm trying to make this sort of two sections of house. There's like a left and a right wing, and one of them is just gonna be the bedroom and the bathroom and a closet space, and the other one is the kitchen and living room and another little closet space. It's basically meant for, well, one super I guess successful bachelor or bachelorette, but it could definitely be modified to add families to it. I just made that bedroom super big and open, so I think you could probably put a second one in there for sure. I'm just trying to make this based off of some really cool references that I found of these kind of tropical open layouts that and one of them had a pool in the back. It was such a nice looking oasis. I loved it so much, so I went with that as my inspiration. There's a few different things I actually used to inspire this build. One of them is a floor plan, so here's a picture of it. It's very close to what I end up with, the floor plan, but it's I had to change the island and the kitchen a little bit just to make it look more like how I wanted. But yeah, that's basically where my inspiration came from. I was primarily inspired by these cool YouTube channels, the survival shelter channels. There's a couple different ones like Jungle Survival and Survival Shelter Ideas. There's a couple really cool channels that feature these awesome women that are living in I don't know where they're living, but it looks like they're living in the woods, and they build these amazing shelters out of bamboo and sticks, and it's just like one lady doing all of this work. It's incredible. I have been watching these binging these channels and their videos because I just love seeing the progress. It's like real life Sims, people building a full shelter just out of what they can find, which is obviously much harder than Sims, but it's crazy to think of. They even manipulate the landscape. They'll tear up grass and place it where they want it to be. It's like painting the land. It's amazing. I've been living for it, so that's what I've been watching on YouTube so much, and I guess it partially inspired this build as well, because obviously it has kind of a wild jungle feel to it. I also love watching Karen Puzzles. I don't know if that's her channel's name, but it's amazing. She makes puzzles, and I am addicted. I'm just waiting for the next video to come out. She's making this massive, I don't even know, 24,000 piece puzzle. It's amazing, and I've just been living for it. I like to make puzzles as well, just for a little thing on the side sometimes. It's really fun. So yeah, that's another channel I am absolutely obsessed with. I wish there were puzzles in The Sims. That'd be really cool. Yeah, and I also love royalty soaps. I love watching soap making too, because it's just so satisfying. The mixing, the pouring, the cutting. Yeah, these are things that I love about YouTube. These are my favorite kind of things to watch. Obviously, everybody has their flavor, and I love finding new things too. There's so many times where I'll just become fully immersed in a fan, like a community. Like I got into aquascaping just from watching YouTube, and then I started having aquariums. I do still have aquariums. It's crazy how things catch on when you're really into it on YouTube. But here I am working on the back deck. I have this kind of shelter over the pool, which I eventually just nixed because it's just not, it felt too much like it was mirroring the other side. So I decided to take it off and just put this nice lower fence in to surround it, which seems a little doomy when you think about The Sims fencing in a pool. But no, it's just, there's still a ladder. I could just take that out though, and you know what would happen then? Yeah, here I am just putting some more stuff around the front as well. I actually end up having to go back to the outdoor at the end and adding more plants in the very front because there's a ton of plants on this lot. So I hope you like an overgrown kind of wild experience. I really wanted it to feel like it was like a shelter in the woods, kind of like these awesome women are building on YouTube. And yeah, so I put tons of plants around it, you know, like it's just overgrown, and I tried to include lots of natural light inside, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. And I'm really happy with the bathroom too. It has a different layout from what I normally do, which is awesome. I put this little pond in between. That was also in the floor plan, but I think that was just such a cool little thing that I probably would have shied away from otherwise. My next video I'm already working on, I'm making a one color build. I'm doing a blue diner, which I called Cerulean Cafe. I'm all finished with it now, but it is such a cool build, so I hope if you'd like to check it out, you can subscribe and like this video and check it out. It'll be out, I think, on Friday. I'll be posting. I'm gonna try from now on to post on Monday and Friday, and then I want to stream on Thursdays and Tuesdays, and I'll take the weekends off and, you know, kind of work on editing on the other days. I think if I can keep that schedule, that'd be really awesome. But here I go making the kitchen, and I end up changing these windows out because I cover the better part of them. I thought that the bottom would be opaque and the top would be more transparent, but I'll end up switching them out later just for the sake of light. And I'm currently following just the floor plan of what the inspiration was, but I end up changing this kitchen a little bit in a few moments. I went with a teal kind of white and dark wood for the living room just to give it a bit of color and a little bit of, I guess, like a Scandinavian kind of vibe. I'm not sure, but I just thought the woven carpet would look great over here. There's still a TV there, which maybe, I don't know if it's the best choice, but I just figure that you wouldn't want to be pointed away from those windows. So I just kind of took the middle one as a claim and put the TV there. And yeah, I just love these curtains. I wish that I could put a bar that went across to each one, but I love the way that they're gathered right where those columns are. So I went with it anyway, and I'll just use my imagination and imagine a bar that goes across. I just got the Snowy Escape pack, so a lot of the stuff in it is still very novel to me and exciting, so I'm still using a lot of it regularly. You know how that is when you get a new pack and you just can't help but to think everything in that pack is the coolest, and you choose it on accident every time. But eventually, you know, it goes back to the natural balance of things where you like what you like. I always seem to have that problem, especially because I spread out the purchasing of my packs, so I'll end up being obsessed and then going to neutral and being obsessed with individual packs. You know, when I got the vampire pack, I was really, really obsessed with vampire builds. In fact, I might make another one soon because I still do love a dark gothic kind of build, and I've been making a lot of vintage and modern, both those types of builds lately, so it might be fun to make something sort of gothic and spooky. But yeah, here I am changing the kitchen layout a little bit to fit more of my idea of what I think it should look like. I end up bringing those guys closer together and changing them out. But I'm going to put a bigger table in as well, just to have a little bit of the space kind of taken up, because it is very wide. Maybe I could have made this smaller. That would have been nice. Maybe I'll make the next one kind of small on purpose. But it has a pretty big area for you to walk through, and I think that's fine, especially given the openness of the build itself with the windows that aren't even windows. And the pool right out back, it kind of gives you a hot tub feel, which I did try a hot tub in here, but I just didn't like the little roof on it because I didn't want anything to be too mirrored as far as the structures in the very back, because obviously the front is pretty mirrored already. But yeah, I got this nice wicker table. I personally love wicker. I have a lot of it in real life. It's such a cozy texture, and I love it. It's just so sweet. I have a little bit of a wicker thing going in my home. And stained glass, also a big fan of stained glass. There's such cool pieces that you can find, both wicker and stained glass. Those are things that I absolutely love. Another thing I really love is, I dream of loving is someday owning a farm or a homestead. Like, I would love to just grow all of my own stuff, and it's not necessarily a phase either. It's been a thing for the last few years with me and my partner, but I would just love to have a few animals and to like homeschool my kids and live in a little house on the prairie kind of deal. Oh my God, how cool would that be? I think a lot of us are really fed up with the government, the way things are going, and how desperately terrible it all seems, but also no one's doing anything. So I bet there is like this innate need for people to just run into the woods, because I know I feel that in my my day-to-day life pretty often. Of course, I got to put in my little coffee nook here, because I mean, how can I be without coffee in a kitchen that big? I definitely have a coffee currently with me that I'm drinking while I make this. I know I don't really have anyone watching these videos, but I actually really enjoy the process of making them. I went through such a long phase of being so despondent and not caring and just being like, whatever about things, and just not having a passion for a while. So it's kind of fun for me to just make them and edit them, and to feel like there's a reason for me to make an effort. It's really sucky when you get to a crappy place in life where you feel like there's no point to doing anything. So this has become a thing I like to do, and streaming, which if you want to ever hang out on my stream or follow me and I'll watch you stream, whatever. But I'm Phylsims on Twitch, and yeah, I'm gonna try to stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So if things work out well, hopefully I'll be on there regularly, because I do like playing the game anyway. So why not try to make a few friends in the process? It's really fun to play with people and to like chat in the while you're making a build and to get ideas. So yeah, that's what I'm up to. I'm putting a little ceiling fan in here, and I shrink down the lights. I try to make like a ceiling fan light combo. I think it worked out pretty well. I mean, it's maybe a little strange if you look up close because of the lights hanging at different levels, but it works fine for me. I'm sure there's a better light I could have put in, but I was really sticking with my island feel. I usually put a dresser at the end of the bed, not all the time, but it's something I like to do because it's just like a little closes in the bed, and it feels like a different place to put the dresser, especially in a house like this where everything is a window. It can be hard to put the furniture around. I'm sure you know what that's like. When you put too many windows in, you're like, crap, now every window's got the back of a piece of furniture up against it. But I put a little seating area in here just so the person who has this massive bedroom doesn't have to walk all the way over to just chill and watch, chill by the fire, I guess. You could put a TV in here too. But yeah, I even put a little drink cabinet up there. And a closet, which ends up being really neat because it has a little, space to stand in front of the mirror, and I put a little mirror into the bathtub area too. That looks great. Just cluttering things up a little bit, because I know I love clutter. I know everyone loves clutter. It makes every house better. It just feels way more real. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm moving into the bathroom now. I've just got this floor plan still in mind that I used, and they made a bathroom that was quite a bit different from how I normally do it. They separated out the sinks like this, so you could just walk in and use the sinks, and then the bathtub and the toilet are kind of in different areas, which I really liked, because I obviously have a bad case of doing the same kind of bathrooms all the time. So I thought this one looks a bit different from what I usually do, and I am probably going to try this layout again in different ways. I put these kitchen cabinets in just as like bathroom cabinets. I think they work fine, right? You cannot tell what's in there. And I ended up having to, well, I put a little magazine rack next to the toilet, but I ended up having to move that. So if you download this from the gallery, it's called, I think, Wild, Messy, and Tropical. But if you download it from the gallery, you should move the little magazine rack next to the toilet, because my sim almost peed themselves. Apparently, you can't put that right there. So just a heads up. I'm throwing some stuff on this bathroom counter, and yeah, I like this little area, but it's definitely too dark, so we're gonna lighten it up. It's just the dark brick and then the dark wood and everything, but I end up making this into a sort of gray stucco, so the colors change anyway a little bit in here. But I love that little area with the bathroom clutter just sitting there. It's great for me. I love it. I put this little mirror situation in the corner. I know it's probably kind of useless, but it's also really cool to think of having that like kind of space where you could see yourself from every angle. Maybe a little creepy because it would have that infinity vibe, but you won't see it like that in the game. I put these sheer curtains on and some nice cozy textile, rugs to kind of warm the place up a bit, because it is pretty gray and stony in there. But I also throw a few candles in the corner, which are a cute little touch that I do in some of my builds too. I love just throwing these in around the bathtub. I'm putting in a wardrobe over here, just to, again, take up a little bit of space and to give my Sims a neat place to change and to, check themselves out and practice their charisma in the mirror. Well, it's just one sim in here, so I guess my sim a place to do it. But it's just a chill little way to use up some extra space in a bigger build. I definitely need to make some of my builds smaller, because I keep on doing, this thing where I think it looks totally fine in the beginning process, and then as soon as you put furniture in, you're like, oh, the bed is only 4 tiles. It doesn't actually fit in here that well, but try to make it work for what it is anyway, because I don't want to change it at this point. I've already got all of this landscaping outside, and yeah, so actually, speaking of landscaping outside, I'm gonna put a buttload more in the front on both sides, and I'm just trying to make sure this place has that consistent overgrown feel to it, because it's definitely overgrown in the back. And I have a bit of white flowers creeping around everywhere. I kind of kept with the white flowers. Maybe you can kind of assume that they're all the same. It's like a weed that's growing in over the place. So I don't know what are the best lot traits, but I know the ones that I don't like that much. I know that I'm sure that these are pretty universal, but the quakey one is pretty spooky. The steam one and the fiery one, I mean, those are great for. I actually did play a game once where I was in a bunker, and the bunker is on the gallery. So if you ever want to check out a bunker game, because I love doing a bunker game where they don't see other Sims and they live underground. At one point I was playing on a computer that had pretty low specs, and the bunker situation works perfectly. So if you have a computer that's not quite as fast as you hope to play The Sims on, if you do an underground bunker game, it can be so beneficial because of the big empty blackness that is surrounding your lot when you're underground. It loads just so smoothly. So at the time I was really enjoying that perk, but now I have a bit of a better computer. I still just love like a 1-room challenge. That's a challenge where you're basically just in I think it's like an 8x8. It's a very small amount of space that you have to live in, but you have no outdoor contact with people. You don't leave the house, and you eventually have to work up from having very low social to hopefully eventually finding a way to socialize with plants, which is pretty far up in the levels. So you just have to kind of hang in there and figure out ways to spend your time without going out of the house. And I love that. I'm weirdly enough, this quarantine is good for my Sims game, because I can come up with new ideas for how to play. I don't really like it in real life, but it works out well for a bunker Sims game. I actually ended up doing like a zombie apocalypse situation with the Strangerville pack. I liked that a lot. That may not be for everyone, but somebody pointed out to me recently, my friend pointed out that The Sims 3 had zombies, and I had no idea of that. I definitely have been playing The Sims 3 a ton lately, and so I definitely have to get that pack. That would be so fun and perfect for a bunker game. Just putting more of these white flowers just in random places just to keep this growing so crazy and wild on this lot. I love these tropical sort of like smushed down ferns, the creeping ferns on the ground. They're so great. One of my favorite plants for sure. And oh, I missed a floor tile there. I hope I click that out soon. It's hard to look at. But yeah, I'm just trying to keep the flowers growing. I put a little overgrown, what is that called? Monkey bar set from the Romantic Garden pack. And I think it's obviously there's no kids living here. There's no kids' room, but it's overgrown because it's been there for a long time. But I'm just gonna decorate the front of the house a little bit more, the deck area, I guess I should say, and then I'll be checking out some really awesome screenshots. I really enjoyed taking the screenshots of this one, and I also got a little footage of the sun setting, which is a really great thing. I loved it. I love adding it in, so I think I'm going to try to do that a little more, get the lot sort of in an active situation. I definitely got more footage like that for my blue cafe, my cerulean cafe. If you do want to check that out, it is already in the gallery, but it's I'm just going to make the video and put the video out on Friday. So if you want to check it out, please subscribe and hit like, and yeah, support my little baby tiny channel because I definitely don't have much going on here. I don't know if there's enough plants on this lot. Do you think? I don't know. There might not be enough plants here. Maybe a few more plants in this quarter, because, you know, if there's not enough plants, there's only about 300,000 plants. So I definitely should throw a few more in this quarter, or maybe a tree. No, actually, I was thinking the tree could be a great way to kind of make the pool more private, but it blocks the view a bit. And when I put it in the gallery, the tree blocked a huge portion of my pictures in the gallery, so I ended up taking it out. But it's a nice way to give your pool a more private feel and a more secluded feel. I'm gonna throw a bunch of outdoor lighting in here, as I always do. It looks so nice. I love outdoor lighting. It's so nice to hang out outside in the evening in The Sims. Oh my goodness, as a woman, it's crazy. It's safe to hang out in the evening in The Sims, so you can go anywhere you want. It's totally fine. You can control the world. How sad, but also what a fun way to experience all that you can. Yeah, here's my screenshots. This is the outside of the place. I think it looks fabulous. So many plants. Such a great like planty area if you're into that. And the back area is so fun to hang out in. And then the inside, of course, I find to be so lovely. I have this deck that has a pond. You could throw what are those? The rocks with the fish in there. My back deck with the gardens, and of course the inside. Is such a fun build to make, and so is the next one, and so is the one after that gonna be. I'm just gonna try to make even more funky and fun builds and to go over the top every single time. So I hope you enjoyed watching this. I definitely enjoyed making it, and have a safe week and a safe day, and be nice to everyone, including yourself. Thanks for watching. Bye.